station on my transistor. I'm getting the Asian station that he's right around, but they're not letting KBLA 1580 come in. I'm not getting the black man. So let Tavis know he's under attack. Cyber attack, racist attack, fascist attack, but he's under attack. And they doing something to disrupt his radio station so they won't get the truth out to us.
Hey, it's Tavis. We appreciate all that love, let me tell you, because we may very well be under attack on all sides. Just because you don't believe in conspiracy theories don't mean they ain't after you. But in reality, sometimes stuff happens with the signal from the studio to the tower, which sends our programming to your car, home, office, or your transistor radio. But when you download the KBLA 1580 app, the sound is clear as a bell all day, all night, anywhere in the world, from Los Angeles to Lagos. So we love all of our listeners, no matter how you hear us. But when you download the KBLA 1580 app and hear that richness, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. But don't take my word for it. Download the KBLA 1580 app right now. I'm Tavis Smiley, and I approve this message.
It's just me against the world. Me against the world, baby. I got nothing to lose. It's just me against the world. Me against the world, baby. Can you picture my prophecy? Stress in the city, the cops is hopping me. The project is full of bullets, no bodies is dropping. There ain't no stopping me. Constantly moving while making millions. Witnessing killings, leaving dead bodies in the abandoned buildings. Carries the children cause they're illin'. Addicted to killing and the appeal from the cap villain. Without feeling, but will they last or be blasted? Hard at it. Maybe you'll listen in this casket, the aftermath. More bodies being buried. I'm losing my homies in a hurry. They relocating to the cemetery. Got me worried, stressing my business blurry. The question is, will I live? No one in the world loves me. I'm headed for danger. Don't trust strangers. Put one in the chamber whenever I'm feeling this anger. Don't wanna make excuses, cause this is how it is. What's the use unless we're shooting? No one notices the youth. It's just me against the world, baby.
Rest in peace, Tupac Shakur. Today is his angelversary, the day that he made his transition. Yeah, miss you, Tupac Shakur, and gone but not forgotten. On this Friday the 13th, we are also celebrating the big birthday of one Tavis Smiley. Tavis Smiley, owner of this radio station, broadcaster, author, and activist, is having his birthday today. So holla. The Best of Tavis is up next, but you can always reach out on any of our social media. We're at KBLA 1580. Drop a comment. Show some love. You can also find me at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio. Please follow, like, subscribe. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. Yes, indeed. I'm even on TikTok. And you can find Miles at Miles Low Music on all of those places, too. Continuing the spirit and the letter of our Freedman Friday, I'm welcoming in the lead organizer of the California Coalition for a Just and Equitable California. He's also a member of ARC, the American Redress Coalition of California. These are grassroots Cali-based organizations working for reparations and reparative justice for descendants of U.S. chattel slavery living in California. Chris Lodgson, welcome.
Good morning, Dominique. Good morning. Good morning.
I should say welcome back.
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate the work you've done with us here on Freedman Fridays. One of those things is really closely tracking all of the legislation that has been proposed, that has been born and died, that is in limbo, that is still in motion. You've done an amazing job, and your organization has done an amazing job on that, and I think it's very important.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that so much, and thank you for your work and for your voice and for your passion and your commitment to this amazing work that is still going on and it's going to continue until we get the job done.
That's right, and we, of course, we're going to get into the big fail, But before we do
Yeah.
that, let's talk about what has been done, because I'm really feeling, this is me with my communications hat on, Chris. I'm really feeling like it's important for us to not be so angry and hurt that we forget that we have made some progress and that we are still a model for the reparations movement and its successes. And there's been a lot of conversation about, well, California's failed and the whole world is watching us, so now reparations is going to fail. Well, it's true. Two very important bills were not given a vote. But some stuff did get done this legislative session, right?
So I think it's very important that people everywhere watching and listening and who've been working on this, and people who haven't been working on it but have been following it, know that we got very, very close this year, and we actually got farther, and we are farther than anyone has ever gotten ever before. We are still closer to reparations than we've ever been before. So people do need to know that. People do need to understand that. You know, we started 5 years ago or so, 2019, 2020, as regular black folks, just, thinking that we could make something happen with reparations. We never thought that we would get this far. We never thought that there would be even any kind of attempts at reparations bills. And we are further than anyone has ever gotten. And we are still closer to reparations than we've ever been before. So people do need to know that we are still very, very close.
I mean, I think it's important because we need to stay encouraged and remember that when we fight, we win. I reference with Dr. Joyce E. King these two apology bills. I know, some folks think that's just BS. In my opinion, I think it's good because it feels like it strengthens our other claims.
So I understand where people are coming from with the thoughts about the apology bills, and even some of the other bills too. I've said this publicly, and people have heard others say it also. But we need action, and people are expecting action. Our people are hurting. Our people are in dire need of immediate action and immediate help. You know this very well in the LA area, and the LA family knows this very, very well. I know this very well here in the Sacramento area where I am. Our people are on the streets. Our people are in prisons. Our people are hurting, and we need immediate action. So I know where people are coming from. I've said this, also, our people can't eat no apologies. We can't pay our rent with no apologies, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I understand where people are coming from, and they're right to feel like that because, we need action. I mean, it's been 400 plus years, and we are right now so close and too close to not get finished and not finish the job.
Right. So just for the record, that's ACR 135 by Keila Weber and AB 3089 by Reginald Jones Sawyer, which did pass.
Those bills did pass, along with, I think, several other bills also. We've made it very, very clear from the start that, we don't consider those bills actually reparations bills, right? We think those bills may or may not be good ideas to do. But as I was just saying, people need real material economic upliftment now.
Agreed.
And this is an opportunity for that.
Agreed. But I just think that I feel like apologies can be part of a building block for that. It can be part of a legal strategy, but I understand it's the least that could get done. SB 1050 also passed, though, did it not?
It did, and it passed 56-0 on the floor of the Assembly a week and a half or so ago, and that bill would provide a pathway to restitution and compensation to people who were the rightful owners of property that had their property taken by the state of California. That bill passed, again, 56-0, but we have a problem. So that bill, if you read the text of the bill, that bill is a bill that actually instructs the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency to facilitate that process. So 1050 is actually connected to the agency bill that did not get passed, that actually got killed.
But that law will sit on the books, so when we get the agency, it will still be able to be implemented, correct? And of course, I'm assuming that the governor signs it. And then, there's other things that we've spoken on, and hopefully we'll get Chris Lodgson back. I think we just lost his call. That I think people rightly do not believe our reparations, i.e. the Crown Act 2.1, which is AB 1815. So I say that to say that I just don't want people to get discouraged. Things are getting done. There is also a connection between the reparations work and Proposition 6, right? Talk to me about that, Chris.
Yeah. So absolutely. So the California Reparations Task Force originally recommended that the state stop the current slavery that's going on in California prisons, and there was a bill this year, ACA 8, that we were community co-sponsors on, that got passed by the state Senate and is now on everyone's ballot as Proposition 6. So we are asking folks to vote yes on Prop 6, vote yes on Prop 6. This is a very, very big deal, a very, very big bill. California has a chance to really lead the nation in stopping current slavery and forced labor going on in California prisons right now. People who decide to prioritize their rehabilitation in prisons and go to college courses or go to emotional support groups, do things to better themselves and help them actually rehabilitate so they can be productive and be successful when they come home. When they choose that, when they are incarcerated, they are punished. They are sometimes given longer prison sentences. They are sometimes given solitary confinement. They are sometimes restricted from visitations and have their food purchases restricted, all because they chose to prioritize their rehabilitation over job assignments that pay zero and next to zero in prison, and most of the time can't be used on your resume when you come home anyway.
Yeah.
So Prop 6 is a very, very important bill. We're telling folks and encouraging folks strongly to vote yes on Prop 6.
Yeah, I mean, to me, even if you don't vote at all on the top of the ticket, you vote yes on Prop 6.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you consider that reparations, Chris Lodgson?
No, I don't.
Even though it comes out of the task force and out of your work, you don't consider a reparation.
Right, and that's a great question. I'd love to speak a little bit on that. So, no, I don't consider that reparations. It's a good idea, obviously, right? We don't want that going on.
But isn't ending slavery part of the repair of slavery?
So, ending slavery is ending slavery, right? But it's not reparations. If you think back, I think Malcolm X had a great point, and that if you stab me in the back and then you pull the knife out halfway, right? That's not healing. If you pull it out all the way, that's not healing, and that's not repair. What is repair is actually healing the wound. And so what Prop 6 does is pull the knife out of our backs, but it does not actually repair and heal the wounds. It's a good idea, but it's not actually reparations.
We're talking with Chris Lodgson. We got a lot to cover. When we come forward, I do want to unpack your version of not only what happened with the Freedmen's Bureau and the funding mechanism for reparations, those two Steve Bradford bills, which have created a firestorm here in California, but the calls to action, the way forward, and some of the conversation that's happening in the wake of it, including the governor calling for an apology from us. We'll look at that stuff when we continue. It's a Freedman Friday on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580. Tavis Smiley's new book, The Covenant with Black America, 20 years later, is now on sale everywhere. This classic text shot to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list almost 2 decades ago. If you have the original book, you will surely want to get this 20th anniversary edition with powerful new contributions from today's leading voices. This 20th anniversary edition presents a compelling blend of historical insights and contemporary urgency in this critical and unprecedented election year. Get your copy of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later today.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Have you noticed the hype around retinol lately? It's all over my social media. But did you know you can get retinol in a body wash? Amazing, right? Olay Retinol Body Wash is packed with moisturizing vitamin B3 complex plus retinol to transform dry skin to visibly renewed in just 14 days. Try it the next time you shower and see the difference for yourself with Olay Retinol Body Wash for visibly renewed skin in just 14 days. And try Olay Retinol 24 Body Lotion.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Before I wait, please stop walking. Grab it and take me to heaven. Back in elementary, I thrived on misery. Left me alone, I grew up amongst a dying breed. Inside my mind, couldn't find a place to rest until I got that Doug like tatted on my chest. Tell me, can you feel me? I'm not living in the past. You wanna last? Be the first to blast. Remember Cato, no longer with us, see deceits. Call on the sirens, seen them murdered in the streets. Now rest in peace. Is there heaven for a G? Remember me, so many homies in the cemetery shed so many tears. I suffered through the years and shed so many tears.
KBLA Talk 1580, rest in peace to Pac. Today is his angelversary. Send it up to Pac. And of course, we're celebrating the big birthday of one Tavis Smiley, owner of this radio station. His show, The Best of Tavis Smiley, comes on right after this. Now, talking with Chris Lodgson, and he's with CJEC. We have got a lot of conversation to cover in just a little bit of time here this morning. Chris, I guess we'll start with the latest. The governor is sort of calling on the reparations community, if you will, to apologize to the California Legislative Black Caucus. And to give that a little context, there has been some complaints by members of the Legislative Black Caucus and others that people are being doxxed, that they're being threatened with violence, that they are facing reprisals and repercussions beyond the arena of politics for not getting those two reparations bills onto the floor. So the governor says, we should apologize for this, and I wonder what your thoughts are on that.
Wow. Well, first of all, let me just say unequivocally here, as we've said in our public statements, that we don't support, we don't condone, we don't participate in any kind of physical threats or physical violence against any politicians, against anybody who's in elected office or government officials. We don't think that helps, and we're not going to do anything that we don't think helps. So we obviously don't participate and don't condone any of that. So that's the first thing to say. Second thing to say, though, is that I thought the governor's comments were completely tone deaf. I thought they were insulting, to be quite honest. We don't owe, and by we, I mean the people in the reparations movement who are advocating, forcefully and within our constitutional and legal rights to redress our government for the things that we want and for the things that we are owed. We don't owe the California Legislative Black Caucus an apology. We don't owe the governor an apology. Actually, the governor and the CLBC, the Legislative Black Caucus, owes us an apology. They committed the political harm to the community and betrayed the people a week and a half ago or so on these very, very two important bills. So we don't owe anyone an apology. They owe us an apology. And I thought the comments were tone deaf. I thought they were insulting. I thought they represented and showed a lack of leadership, quite honestly, from folks in the governor's office on this issue and folks in the CLBC as well. If the governor and the CLBC had been listening and following closely to what the people have been saying and wanting, these two bills, SB 1403 and SB 1331, these were the two most important bills this year. The two most important bills. They were two of the only bills specifically for residents who are descendants of people who were enslaved in this country. These were two historic bills, and to have these bills, pulled from the agenda, to have them not allowed to even get a vote, that is insulting. That is what we are owed an apology for, and the governor and the caucus owe us an apology. We don't owe them a damn thing.
I felt like the governor weighed in without being fully briefed or without really knowing what's going on. That's how it felt to me. I know that there is a dark side to the reparations community online. I've been hit up myself sometimes. People, insult you and they pile on. That's online. And I think when you're dealing with the actual people doing the work on the ground, and they're telling you, they're like you just did, that they're not condoning this, then why are you having a knee-jerk reaction and blaming people for things that they demonstrably are not doing?
So I think it's part of a strategy, to be quite honest, from some members of the caucus and some other folks also, to put together or conflate or combine the advocacy that's going on with the things that they don't like and see from folks online, and then to use that to then suppress the advocacy that they don't like. And that's not going to work. We've been very, very clear from the beginning. Our work is public. We have been at the Capitol almost every 2 weeks for the past 7 months, to be quite honest with you, meeting with legislators, meeting with government officials, going to public hearings, going to votes. Our work is very, very public. People know the kind of work and the quality of work and the character of the work that we do. So when we heard those kinds of things and those kinds of accusations, we knew right away that it was really a part of an attempt to suppress our actual advocacy, because people are rightly upset. They are rightly mad at the caucus. They're rightly mad at the governor, because we feel, and we were, betrayed. We felt like this was a political sucker punch. I mean, nobody saw this coming.
I didn't see it coming, that's for sure. And my understanding was that we had the votes on the floor. I mean, I've heard that from more than one person with knowledge of what was going on, that we had the votes, that had it been brought up, these two bills been brought up, they would have passed. I'm sure you read the op-ed that Assemblymember Tina McKenna wrote in the LA Sentinel. Yes. She was scheduled to be on this show Monday, and then due to unforeseen circumstances, canceled at the last minute. And from reading that piece, it seems that what she's saying happened was people were mad at Bradford. I mean, at Senator Bradford. That's what I took away from that piece. Am I missing something? She says it was. She doesn't name him by name, but she says it was one member who stood in the way. It was one member this. It was one member that. And to me, what you're saying there, you're admitting that this was politics and not actually concerns about the bills themselves.
That is 100% correct. And we have seen that personally, or I've seen that personally myself, talking to caucus members throughout the last 5 to 7 months. We've seen it and we've heard it from a bunch of other folks, and Member McKenna just confirmed it. And I thought that was shameful. I thought that was disgraceful in many ways. And it showed and it did admit that the reason that the caucus did not even allow a vote on bills that they had already voted on. Member McKenna actually already voted in favor of SB 1403 and SB 1331 on June 11th, I believe it was. I was sitting right there in the Assembly chamber in the Assembly Judiciary Committee. I gave witness testimony on SB 1331 that day. I was sitting right next to Senator Bradford. To my left was Assemblymember Tina McKenna. To my right was Assemblymember Isaac Bryan. Behind me was Assemblymember Akilah Weber, and to her right, I think, was Assemblymember Mike Gibson. Member McKenna voted for SB 1403 and SB 1331 looked Senator Bradford in his face and thanked him for bringing the bills and praised him for bringing the bills.
I've seen that videotape.
That was June
Actually,
11th.
I have that. Actually, I have that videotape. And so, does Senator Bradford, does he have onus in this too, as maybe not navigating his, the political process skillfully enough, or not doing whatever assembly people do to make sure they have each other's support?
No, I don't. And here's why. So originally, if you think back, there was another bill to do the agency called SB 490. And that was the original bill to do the agency. That was introduced late last year and scheduled to move early this year. There was, from what we understand, there was a lot of upset among caucus members about Senator Bradford introducing that bill. And so what Senator Bradford did was he stopped working on that bill and introduced another bill called SB 1403, the bill that we're talking about now, from what I understand, to help smooth things over with the caucus. And from what we understood, that was working. The caucus then took SB 1403, added themselves, all of them, as co-authors of the bill, and then made it one of their priorities. They actually made SB 1403, the agency bill, a priority. So we thought, hey, there were some problems to start, but maybe they got their stuff together. Maybe they resolved it internally as family and are moving forward together because all of the caucus members added themselves and added their names as co-authors, et cetera, and had lifted the bill up as a priority. So no, I don't put any blame on Senator Bradford here. I think this is all caucus members who had problems with the way that Senator Bradford originally did it, and were looking for an opportunity and found an opportunity to hurt him right when we needed him and them the most.
We've got news, traffic, and sports right now. We're talking with Chris Lodgson. Senator Lola Smallwood Cuevas was on this show on yesterday. She had a completely different take, not citing anything about the relations between the caucus, but talking about concerns with the bills. I want to get your take on that when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A new report shows that healthy Black women are more likely to undergo unnecessary C-sections than white women. That's what a study of 1 million births in 68 New Jersey hospitals shows. A Black woman with a health profile similar to a Caucasian woman is 20% more likely to have her baby via C-section, even at the same hospital. Researchers concluded that racial bias, coupled with financial motives to fill operating rooms, played roles in their doctors' decision-making. A new affordable housing complex is being dedicated in Portland, Oregon's Overlook neighborhood. The Dr. Darrell Milner building is named for the former department chair of Black Studies at Portland State University and a local expert on the history of Black Americans in the West. The project is part of the Alberta Alive initiative to celebrate and strengthen Portland's historically Black North and Northeast neighborhoods. People with historical ties to the area will be given preference as these 63 units are rented. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers begin a crucial 7-game road trip tonight. The first 4 games are in Atlanta. The Braves are battling for a playoff spot in the National League. The Dodgers are trying to hold on to their lead in the NL West. They lead Arizona by 5 games. Both of LA's NFL teams are in action on Sunday. The Chargers are 5-point favorites in their matchup at Carolina. Carolina gave up 37 points last Sunday in their season-opening loss at New Orleans. 10 a.m. kickoff on CBS. The Rams are at Arizona, 1:05 kickoff. The NFL may feel some mounting pressure over the next 5 months about their decision on halftime entertainment for the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Earlier this week, the league announced that LA native Kendrick Lamar will headline the Super Bowl halftime show. A lot of folks feel the NFL should have named New Orleans native Lil Wayne as the headline entertainer. We'll see how the NFL handles this potential hip-hop beef. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Environmental justice is racial justice.
Environmental justice is social justice.
This is KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh, man. Looks like Bobby needs a ride to the airport again.
Grab the keys.
Who's taking Auntie and her friends to the swap meet?
Grab the keys.
How about we drop these boxes off at Miss Johnson?
Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, you're all about getting things done. So do it all in a Chevy SUV. From the versatile Equinox and sporty Blazer to the roomy Traverse, our lineup of SUVs will carry you through every adventure. All you have to do is...
grab the keys.
That's how we do. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR on all 2024 Silverado 1500, Blazer EV, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Colorado models. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $2,860 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 12.7%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 9/30/24.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Ever since you was a pee-wee down by my knee with a wee-wee. We been Gucci cool all through school, you and me, G. Back in the days, we played practical jokes, so everybody smoked with they lokes and they yokes, so all through high school, girls by the dozens, saying we cousins, knowing that we wasn't, but like the old saying goes, time goes on and everybody grows. Grew apart, had to part, went our own ways. You chose the dope game, my microphone face. In many ways, we were paid in the old days, so far away from the crazies with AKs. And though I've been around clowning with the underground, I'm still down with my homies from the hometown. And if you need anything at all, I drop it off for y'all if my homies call.
KBLA Talk 1580. Rest in peace, rest in power, Tupac Shakur. And a big, big, big happy birthday to Tavis Smiley. We're talking with Chris Lodgson, lead organizer for Coalition for Just and Equitable California. We're talking reparations like we often do on Fridays. Actually, we always do on Fridays, at least hour or two. Got a bunch of questions here and to try to fit them all in. Chris, I mentioned Senator Lola Smallwood Cuevas, and I want to shout out Assembly Member Isaac Bryan and Senator Lola Smallwood Cuevas for coming on the show, at least talking with us and explaining how they see it. And of course, Assembly Member Isaac Bryan, who was the only one who showed up in person to the big emergency reparations meeting in Leimert Park. I know people are mad, but to me, I give people credit when they're willing to show up and engage.
Absolutely. It's important that the CLBC members come to the public, come to the community, and explain themselves and talk about what their decisions were, why they made the decisions that they did, and be held accountable to the people that they were elected by. That is a part of the job. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of that soon too.
Agreed, and I do think we'll talk about it more next week at other times when I just have time. But someone in the chat yesterday was saying, well, Isaac Bryan was a liar. Well, I don't think he lied. I think maybe you didn't like what he said, which is fine. But we'll unpack that, what folks said and what it meant. My interpretation of what, and it really wasn't an interpretation, what Senator Lola Smallwood-Cuevas said was that the bill to stand up a Freedmen's Bureau in the state of California was problematic because it gave oversight, it ceded oversight. In other words, we wouldn't have oversight over that body, and that she had concerns with how the actual agency was structured and its accountability and responsiveness to community.
Yeah, so a couple of things. One, you can tell that there is not unity in the caucus because that's a very different story than what you heard from Member McKenna in her op-ed and in her words earlier this week. So one, there are multiple different stories that are being told by multiple different caucus members. So one, that's a bad sign because one caucus member is saying one thing and the other caucus member is saying another thing. But to the question about the concerns, I didn't hear about any of those concerns until yesterday, until your interview with Senator Smallwood-Cuevas. So the time to address those concerns, the time to address those problems, if there were problems, was during the committee hearings that she sat in support of the bills, before she actually voted for SB 1403 and SB 1331, which she did. I actually have a picture with her the day she voted for SB 1403 and SB 1331. So we haven't heard and we didn't hear about any of these concerns until literally the day of and after the bills were supposed to be voted on. So I'm not sure what the root of the concerns are. The bill, from what I understand, does not cede any legislative authority at all. The legislature still has authority to regulate and to help dictate what agencies do. They do that with agencies every single year. So to the question of ceding legislative authority, I don't know where that's coming from. That's a very, very new thing that I just heard yesterday, literally. And again, the time to deal with those concerns is through the committee process. It's through the voting process. It's through the legislative process. It's not the day that the bill is supposed to come up or after that. That is the wrong way to do it. And so those concerns right now, I don't understand what the root or the cause for saying that is, because we haven't heard that or have not heard that at all for the whole year.
I mean, honestly, from what I know, and I don't claim to be an expert, but what I know about the state legislature, if you don't like somebody and you don't like their bill, you kill it in appropriations. You don't wait until the last day, right? I mean, appropriations is where they complain about how much things cost, and that they have the excuse of money to shut stuff down. It would pass through appropriations. To me, that meant it was going to pass.
Absolutely, and you deal with challenges or problems to the bill in not just the appropriations committees, but in the policy committees that come before them. So if you have a problem with the policy, then you deal with them in the policy committees, like the Assembly Judiciary Committee, or like the Senate Judiciary Committee, or the Senate Governmental Organization Committee. All committees that these bills went through, specifically in this case SB 1403, all committees that these bills went through, and there is where you deal with the problems with the language, et cetera, and you work with the author in those committees and outside of those committees directly to make sure that those concerns are dealt with. But it's not, as you say, it's not the day the bill's coming up. That's wrong, and that's how you know that that's actually not what happened. That's not what happened.
Okay, I'm moving along because I just want to make sure we have time to cover these things, although I'm sure we maybe could convince you to come back. The $12 million that was designated for reparations, everyone's talking about it. There's a lot of rumors. I did ask Senator Smallwood-Cuevas about it yesterday, and she said it has not yet been designated. Is that your understanding?
Right. Yes, that is my understanding, that it's been put in the budget, but it has not been specifically allocated to anything specific yet. So that is absolutely true. The money right now is still sitting in the budget, but it has not been put to any specific use. What we do know is that there has been an attempt to move some of this money to some nonprofit organizations and some funds and foundations to then do something with the money. And I know that for a fact because I actually spoke to Senator Smallwood-Cuevas' staff 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they confirmed that to me, that there was a plan, at least in the making. I don't know if it, and from what we understand, it hasn't been executed, but there was a plan to move at least up to half, of those funds to one of the nonprofit organizations. I think it's called the California Black Freedom Fund, if I'm not mistaken. We highly object to that. We put out a letter, some 2 or 3 weeks ago with recommendations for what the state should do with those funds. We said that the state should use the funds as much as possible to stand up the Freedmen's Affairs Agency, use any remaining funds to seed the California Reparations Fund, and then to not under any circumstances put any of those funds in the hands of nonprofit organizations. Our ancestors' inheritance is not to build up people's nonprofit organizations. That will be a political disaster. Can you imagine people waking up and finding out that instead of putting the money to do actual reparation stuff, we gave it to a nonprofit to do God knows what that we can't track, that we can't.
So
hold
now
them
that
publicly
so now that the Freedmen's Agency is, I'll say, on hold, because I'm going to assume we're going to get it done, and the funding mechanism is on hold, what do you recommend now?
So right now we recommend that those funds sit until we have bills that create the Freedmen's Affairs Agency. So right now we're recommending that those funds be sit and paused so that we have funds available to do a Freedmen's Affairs Agency with new bills that come in 2025. So that's what we want the money. That's what we want to happen with the money now.
Just want it to be on hold until pending.
Yes.
And you're not concerned, as Senator Smallwood-Cuevas said yesterday, that it will just get reabsorbed into the general fund or put in somewhere to patch up a hole in our budget crisis.
No, I'm not concerned about that. One, because I think there is enough public support and public, pressure to keep those funds where they are. I know, I think rather that the governor understands how important that funding is, how historic that funding is, and so to pull that money out of the fund, I think would also be not very good politically for the governor or for the CLBC.
Yeah, agreed.
And so I don't see that money going anywhere, at least for the next year or so.
Friday Jones in the chat says the California Black Freedom Fund is sponsoring the CLBC State of the Black Union tomorrow in Sacramento. Will you be there?
Yes.
Something told me you might.
Yes, yes, I will. Yes, I will. I will definitely be there. I'm encouraging folks in the Sacramento area or close to Sacramento, please come out. It starts at 9:30 a.m., 9:30 to 1. It's at the California Museum, 1020 O Street. You have to register, so please do register and be there. We will be there with bells and whistles on.
Talking with Chris Lodgson. When we continue this conversation before we get out of here, I want to find out what your calls to action are. I know some of those are in progress and being formulated as we speak. I want to know what you think the path to bring those bills or similar back is. To me, that's the top priority. And I want to talk about strategies as far as, some folks are really looking at trying to target members of the CLBC legislatively, not any other kind of targeting, electorally. So what does that mean and what makes sense? How do we avoid getting pimped by people who are really putting on a show and actually do not have the best interests of Black people or reparations in mind? All that straight ahead on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
October 2nd is California Clean Air Day. Go Metro for free and help cut down on pollution and traffic. It's our way of thanking you because every ride makes a difference. Let's clear the air together. Ready to go right now? Head to metro.net.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
The LA Civil Rights Department and its Reparations Advisory Commission want to hear your reparations ideas. Join them at one of 3 working groups on September 10th, 12th, and 14th. Space is limited. To register, call 213-978-1845 or email lacr-reparations@lacity.org today. That's lacr-reparations with an S at lacity.org. Be part of this monumental moment.
Los Angeles Adventist Academy has been providing quality Christian education in the South Bay area for more than 100 years. That's right, more than 100 years. Los Angeles Adventist Academy has preschool, kindergarten, and grades 1 through 9. Los Angeles Adventist Academy is fully accredited by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. Los Angeles Adventist Academy provides a Christian-centered curriculum, a caring and dedicated staff, a clean and safe environment that meets all CDC standards. Los Angeles Adventist Academy has small class sizes, which means our students get the attention they need to be successful. Los Angeles Adventist Academy has foreign language training in all grades. Los Angeles Adventist Academy has STEAM programs that include robotics training. Los Angeles Adventist Academy has performing arts programs that include music and drama. Los Angeles Adventist Academy has competitive sports programs that include football, basketball, tennis, golf, and chess. Los Angeles Adventist Academy is located right across the street from the beautiful Magic Johnson Park at 846 East El Segundo Boulevard. That's 846 East El Segundo Boulevard. To enroll your child at Los Angeles Adventist Academy, call 323-743-8818. That's 323-743-8818. One more time, that's 323-743-8818.
That morning chill means truck season.
5 more minutes.
No snoozing. Do it all in a Chevy Colorado or Silverado, including the class-leading range of the Silverado EV.
Talking to me?
Work, play, hauling, off-roading, a Chevy truck can take it all.
Okay, I'm up.
Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 and Colorado pickups when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 24.5%. Plus finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available at least in some of the offers. Take new retail delivery by 9/30/24.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Talking with Chris Lodgson, and the time always flies when you're having great conversation. Chris Lodgson of CJEC. What are the calls to action right now as you understand them? I know these are developing as we speak.
Yeah, so we just talked about one of them. So we're asking folks to show up tomorrow in Sacramento to the State of Black California meeting where CLBC members will be, and we're asking folks to express their thoughts and express their concerns about what happened a week and a half ago. We're also asking folks to show up to the State of Black California meeting on September 28th in Oakland, California, with other CLBC members and do the same. So we're asking folks to get out into their communities and go to where CLBC members are, where they're holding public events, and express themselves and tell the CLBC about their concerns. Tonight in Sacramento, we're holding our own community town hall at Florence Square in South Sacramento, where we have invited CLBC member Kevin McCarty, who is actually my representative here in Sacramento, who's running for Sacramento mayor. We've invited him. We've invited his opponent for the mayoral race. And so we're holding our own town hall. So we're asking folks to come out to our own town hall as well. And then, I think over the next several months, specifically the next 90 days, I think what we need to be doing and what we will be doing, what we are doing already, is preparing for the 2025 season, because we know that in less than 90 days, we will be right back to the Capitol. The 2025 season starts, officially in early January. And so we have less than 90 days to get ready.
And speaking of that calendar, I've heard a lot of people talking about voting folks out. For me, that should be happening during primaries if you're thinking about doing it, where you can put up candidates that you prefer rather than ending up voting for Republican candidates who have never and most likely will never support reparations or anything even adjacent to it, and whose election brings adjacent and unnecessarily maybe unanticipated harms in terms of how they vote on education budgets and funding for our communities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So, I definitely hear that point, and I think a couple of things. One, people are rightly mad, and people are clearly mad, and so right now people are like, I want these people out of office. I want them nowhere near reparations because of what they saw a week and a half ago, and you really can't blame people for that. People.
No, I mean, I'm pretty mad myself, to be honest. I mean, it just seems like, and I think I think it was Tiffany who made a great point. These aren't just any average bills. These are historic and important, and we expected it done. We want it done. I believe we will get it done. But I also don't want us to get played. I mean, that guy, Bill or Bilal Asali, whatever his name is, he was doing a whole theater show. Inside that mess at the assembly. He has never supported reparations, and I seriously doubt he would now. He was celebrating on his website. He's celebrating the demise of affirmative action, for example.
So I think what happened was, and this, to be honest with you, you can lay the blame right on the feet of the CLBC, because what they did was create an opening. And create a pathway and create an opportunity for Republicans to step in and to do the things that you saw them do, and to do them pretty effectively, actually. So what happened a week and a half ago with the Republicans about these reparations bills is all the fault of the CLBC. If they had taken up their own bills that they were already co-authors on, bills that they had already said were priorities, bills that many had already voted for, if they would have allowed a vote on their own bills, we would not even be talking about this right now.
Fair point. I think maybe the upside of all of this is we're all of us trying to get as sophisticated as you are about how government works and what makes sense. And I'm just really interested in us not playing ourselves. What do you think is the path to make sure those bills come back? Obviously, Bradford is out. He's termed out. We now have a fight between Laura Richardson and Michelle Chambers to take over that seat. How do you see, what's the direct path to what we wanted in the first place, which is the passage of these two bills?
So I think a few things. One, it sounded to me like in the statement that the CLBC put out that they had already committed to reintroducing these bills next year. So if you read their statement, there is a part in the statement where it does say that they are going to reintroduce the bills next year. Now, I don't know, how much we can believe that.
You know what? I feel like, let me pull up the statement, because I feel like it said they were going to reintroduce one of them, but not the other. Because one of them says refer to the author. Yeah. Like, whoa.
Yeah, which is, you talk about a lack of leadership here. You're absolutely right. The bill that they committed to reintroducing was, more specifically SB 1403, the bill to create the agency. They sort of punted on SB 1331, which I don't understand why either. I don't know what the concerns were about that bill. That bill didn't even cost any money. So I don't understand what the concerns were there. But firstly, they have made a public commitment already.
That's true. Beyond the statement, they have. Yes, you're right.
Right. So what we need to do over the next 90 days or so is put as much public pressure on CLBC members as possible. One, to hold firm and fast to their public commitment already, to reintroduce 1403 or something that creates a state agency, and then also to reintroduce it correctly with the correct language. There can be no changes to the eligibility in the Freedmen's Affairs Agency. There can be no changes to the eligibility at all. Also, we think that there should be additional offices added to the Freedmen's Affairs Agency. There were 12 offices that were originally recommended to be a part of the Freedmen's Affairs Agency. So an Office of Genealogy, an Office of Business, an Office of Family Affairs, an Office of Legal Affairs, an Office of Community. I mean, all kinds of things that our people need right now. So we think those things should be re-added back to the language of the bill. So we need these bills reintroduced and reintroduced with the correct language.
Yeah. Okay. And no thoughts on who you might be backing for Bradford's seat. I mean, he has endorsed Michelle Chambers, but I don't know if that's something you would necessarily follow.
So we don't endorse candidates publicly, but we have spoken to Ms. Chambers, who has publicly already said that she is a supporter of reparations. So we haven't spoken to Ms. Richardson yet, but we absolutely will be speaking to her, and so we will be working to speak to both candidates and to make sure that they are publicly committed to reparations. But just by our own work, we don't endorse candidates.
CJEC-official.org, right? CJEC-official.org.
Yes.
If folks want to find out more about these calls to action, these chances to show up. And Chris, I really appreciate your spending an hour with us this morning. And,
Pleasure.
Yeah, and just all the work you're doing really to track what's going on at the Capitol. It's so important.
Likewise. Thank you very much. Also, I want to say happy birthday to Tupac. Happy birthday to Tavis. Thank you very much, Dominique. Once again, thank you and the whole team. And to everybody out there, keep your heads up. All right, keep your heads up. We will be back at it in less than 90 days, and it ain't over until we win.
It's not over till we win, and they're going at it here in L.A., Leimert Park. Tap in with the Center for Black Power. There's probably a meeting. There's always a meeting. There's an L.A. City Reparations. A chance to weigh in tomorrow will be the last one. So if you want to do that, go to the L.A. Civil Rights Department website. It's time for me to go. The Best of Tavis Smiley is up next, and it's his birthday, so tap in on social media and show the brother some love. I'm going to end with a quote from Dick Gregory today. He says, "Political promises are much like marriage vows. They are made at the beginning of the relationship between the candidate and voter, but are quickly forgotten." I'm Dominique DiPrima, and let's talk about this. Let's keep it going on social media, KBLA 1580 or DiPrima Radio, wherever you go. History is now, and we are making it together. Rest in peace, Pac. Until Monday, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A new report shows that healthy black women are more likely to undergo unnecessary C-sections than white women. That's what a study of 1 million births in 68 New Jersey hospitals shows. A black woman with a health profile similar to a Caucasian woman is 20% more likely to have her baby